Well, the WrestleMania season is in full swing. We're on the road, and of course, the road, starts with the Royal Rumble. And Royal Rumble 2021, I gotta say, is probably one of the best Royal Rumbles I've seen in a while. I mean, in the last few years, we had some good ones, some decent ones, but I really enjoyed this. I think that the winners were very much on par with what a lot of people wanted. There's a surprise in one of them. The other one was a no-brainer, at least to me anyway. But this Royal Rumble is great. It took me a while to get to this recap and thoughts video because I got caught up in the Yokozuna documentary, the Icons. And man, I gotta tell you, Yokozuna was one of the best big men that WWE has ever had. I mean, who wasn't impressed with him? It's just massive size, but he was so agile, And it was truly sad how he passed, but at the same time, he left behind a legacy. And of course, being part of the Anoa'i Wrestling family, man, you saw Roman Reigns, you saw Rikishi, Alpha and Sika, and their other family members talking about him, and it really was a great documentary. It's part of WWE Network, so go and check it out. I highly recommend it. More people should know about Yokozuna, even this generation as well. But anyway, let's get to the Royal Rumble. My recap and thoughts on the Rumble. Now, there was a pre-show, or I say kickoff show, and we had Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler challenging the champs Asuka and Charlotte for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and a little bit of interference, a little bit of a loaded fist from Lacey Evans, and she knocks out Charlotte, and then Charlotte is hit with a leg drop from Nia Jax, and Nia Jax pins Charlotte, and the champs are Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And that was an okay match. I think this definitely is they're gonna look at some way to get Charlotte into the title picture with Asuka. Asuka was, I don't know why she didn't defend her title, why she didn't even be in the Royal Rumble. Charlotte, was in the Royal Rumble, and even Nia Jax and Shayna. So there's something going on with the Raw Women's Championship. I mean, she defended it against Alexa Bliss, but that was like a weird ending. It just ended because Randy Orton RKO'd Alexa. But that was that. That was, I believe, only the main show. I only watched the main show right when that match was on, and I was like at least 40 minutes into the kickoff show. So I believe that's the only match he had. But let's go to the main show, and that is, we see it start off with the WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. And Byron Saxton's like, goosebumps. And I'm like, no, goose chills. What did he say? He said it's goosebumps, but yeah. Like me, I'm like, no, juice chills. I mean, it's just like, and then a force of nature says, Samoa Joe, and I'm just thinking, no, it's a force of habit. Like every time he comes back, he needs a title match. Does Goldberg. But then after like exchanges of spears and claymores, and McIntyre takes out Goldberg with a claymore, a final claymore that takes him out, and Drew McIntyre pins Goldberg. So Goldberg passed the torch. He finally said, I'm going to help out this guy who is the future, who is the guy who's now. There's nothing wrong with being in a match and then doing that. And then you hear him muttering, mouthing, you passed the test. That's what Goldberg said to him. They gave a hug, and Goldberg lets him celebrate in the ring. And it actually was, enjoyable for a short match that it was, 4 minutes. It was like, okay, it was what we expect out of a Goldberg match. And the fact that he passed the torch pretty much, and he let Drew go over on him. That's great. That's what he's supposed to do. He's not supposed to be the focus of a main title and then become the champion. Nobody agreed with it when he did that with the Fiend, with Bray Wyatt, and when he did it with Kevin Owens. Nobody agreed with that. He shouldn't have not have gone over on them. But I'm glad that he did it with Drew, because if Drew would have lost, his 2 title reigns would probably not have amounted to anything. I think he had decent runs, but the way they ended, with Randy Orton, it shouldn't have been. It wasn't the time. And then if he would have did it here, but now he's definitely going to be going towards WrestleMania. And who is going to be his opponent? Mr. Royal Rumble winner, or is it going to be someone else? But let's see. But that was it for what it was. That I enjoyed it. Now, the SmackDown Women's title match. Carmella challenges the boss, Sasha Banks. And Carmella taps to the bank statement, and Mella needs to go bye-bye when it comes to her being in the title picture. Back of the end of the line, she should go. Match wasn't really anything special, but I wasn't bored. It was another decent match. It was a match that told us a good story, and Sasha looked strong, and Carmella was just another opponent to continue to make her look strong. Sasha, yeah, and she's at 98 days going into this match, so by the time she gets back to SmackDown, she will be at over 100 days as a champion. That's great for her, because she never, I don't think in one single reign, never ever reached 100 days. So good on her, and I'm glad. At least what happens to her as the WrestleMania season continues to roll on down the road, and let's see what happens with her and who her next opponent's going to be. The New Day, they reunite backstage, and even Kofi appears, and despite not being medically cleared, he wasn't about to no-show and not debut his ring gear on his side of his leg there. We see the featured likeness of Luke Harper, or Brody Lee, as people outside of WWE got to know him. As a pretty nice tribute. And the man unfortunately passed away, but his legacy continues, and it's great. That's great on Kofi's part, and I love seeing New Day together. It was great. They kind of got jabs in on Mr. Conspiracy himself, Sami Zayn. I'm glad I saw that, because Sami Zayn, man, it's like he needs to be put in this place sometimes. Enough with the conspiracy theories, dude. Nobody believes you. When you was holding the sign on what's that? What brand is he on? But every time somebody would walk by him, either SmackDown or Raw, I'm kind of like having it's SmackDown, okay. But he was holding the sign, and then nobody was paying attention to him, and there's like like this. It was hilarious. Like, no one believes him, and I don't think that any of us are believing him. Like, it's like, what's the conspiracy? You lost the title fair and square. You drew the lowest a low number when you drew number 3. And they say that's a cursed number. No one wins from that number. And it's just like, no, you just drew it. There's no conspiracy. You drew it. Bad Bunny and Booker T perform, and who cares? Next, I turned down the volume, and all I saw Booker T do was this. And I was watching something else on YouTube or something. I come back. Is that all he did? Maybe I should have watched the whole thing. At least I could. I guess I don't know if it's like, is that all he did? Like. Now, the 30 women Royal Rumble. Bayley draws number 1. Naomi draws number 2. Great to see Naomi. It's going to be a good matchup to start off the Royal Rumble. My personal pick, number 3, Bianca Belair comes in. Number 4, Billie Kay, who was trying to broker a partnership with whomever would be coming out. She didn't get into the ring right away. And Shotzi Blackheart comes out. She tries to show her one of her headshots, and then Shotzi shoots her with her tank. Or tries to. I think Billie Kay ducked. Then Shayna Baszler came in, who had a great showing along with Bianca last year, each eliminating 8. Toni Storm comes in. It was nice seeing Toni. Number 8 was Jillian Hall, a surprise entrant, and for what it was, okay, it was not okay. It was nice seeing her again, especially her and her cringe voice. She still sings out of key, and her and Billy Kay, Billy and Jilly, as Billy had said, they got together and they were like being the partners and working together for the meantime. Shotzi, unfortunately, one of my favorites, but unfortunately she got eliminated by Shayna Baszler, who would have a pretty decent night in eliminations. Number 9 was Ruby Riott. Number 10, Victoria. Still looked good. Still looked like she was in great shape, and she did pretty decent in the Rumble. And then we had Peyton Royce coming in at number 11. Number 12, Santana Garrett. Pretty decent performer on NXT. Sometimes she would showboat a little bit. Sometimes she would show that greenness that it's like, this is not a time for you to showboat and flash and all that stuff. You had to, this is, anybody from behind you can come up behind you and throw you over the rope. Do you know what I mean? And we saw Liv Morgan. So at number 13, lucky 13, I guess, for her, at the moment anyway. And she was able to get in there with Ruby and do some partnerships, doing their their Riot Squad thing. Now Jillian is eliminated by Billy Kay. So that partnership didn't last long, and then Billy Kay was eliminated by the Riot Squad. So their little team up there paid off. At number 14, the Nightmare herself, Rhea Ripley, and I don't think of her as a nightmare. She's quite a stunning lady. I love her. I love her look. I love everything about her. Her tattoos, everything. Great. She goes in there and immediately she eliminates Toni Storm, one of her rivals from NXT UK and NXT. And Victoria is eliminated by Baszler, and Shayna's doing her thing, and she has 2 eliminations at this point. And Garrett is eliminated by Rhea Ripley, and I think this was what happened last year. Weren't they her and Rhea Ripley were kind of going back and forth until Bianca kind of took over, and then Shayna Baszler was matching up with her. So, you know what I mean? And it's like, so with that, and then at number 15, the halfway point, Charlotte. And then Ruby Riott is eliminated by Bayley. Number 16, Dana Brooke and Morgan are eliminated by Peyton Royce. Number 17, Tori Wilson. She comes in and Rhea Ripley eliminates Dana, and Rhea herself has 3. It's kind of going back and forth with both Baszler, Shayna, and with Rhea. Number 18, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce eliminated by Charlotte, and Baszler eliminates Tori, making it 3 eliminations. Number 19, Mickie James and Bianca eliminate Bayley, who was in the Rumble for 31 minutes. Great run for her. She came in at number 1, did a decent job. Number 20, Nikki Cross, one of my crazy favorites. Then 21, Alicia Fox comes in. She looked good. I never said she don't look good. She does, but she's a crazy girl. And she becomes the new 24/7 champ. There's all this craziness, R-Truth coming out, and then but then Mandy Rose eliminates Alicia Fox, and then Alicia loses the title back to R-Truth, of course. And then number 23, Dakota Kai and Lacey Evans eliminates Mickie James. And Carmella comes in, number 24, and her and Dakota. Dakota is eliminated by Rhea Ripley, who has 4, and Mandy is eliminated by Shayna Baszler, who has 5. Oh. Cross is eliminated by Carmella, who was eliminated by number 25, Tamina, and Naomi is eliminated by Bianca Belair. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't actually, because they both looked like it, and then her crazy comebacks, and then she was holding Bianca's hair, and Bianca had her foot below the ropes, and then they both were hanging, and they both got back in. And it's just a crazy exchange. And then number 26, we had Lana coming back, looking very stoic, looking very just just serious. And I'm thinking, hey, she's gonna maybe have a good run here, but we'll see. Number 27, Alexa Bliss, and she is eliminated by Rhea Ripley. As Bliss was transforming, it looked ridiculous. It looked silly. It was just like, did they have a miscue or something? They were waiting None of the lights were turned off. Maybe a couple of screens on the the Thunderdome went off, and nothing. And then Rhea just tosses her over. Like, I don't know. Are they giving up on her gimmick now? Because she usually is powerful. She usually is allowed, when she does that stuff, everybody's like transfixed and they can't move for like 30 seconds or so. you know. Now number 28, Ember Moon comes in, and then 29 is Nia Jax. Now Evans is eliminated by Baszler, and Jax does the same to Ember Moon, and both eliminate Naomi, who lasted over 40 plus minutes. Came in at number 2. Good job for her. And both eliminate Tamina, and Jax eliminates Baszler, who is eliminated by Lana. I was thinking she was going to do that. Like, Jax came out here with a full head of steam, and I was thinking she's going to pull the rope down Lana, and she does, and then Jax went over. Now, number 30 was Natalya. Everybody knew that. I didn't know that. I knew that her and Tamina were battling for it during the whole backstage thing on Saturday. And then Natalya, eliminates Lana. She gets an elimination there. Shared a moment and they're hugging each other like old friends and stuff like that. And the final 4 are Charlotte, Belair, Natalya, and Ripley. Natalya is eliminated by Bianca. And so much for the 30 entrant number guaranteeing a Rumble win. It's like, what's the point? You gave it to a who gives a crap competitor. No offense to Natalya, but it's like she's not the focus. Why would you put it on her instead of giving it to somebody who is a focus of a main storyline right now? Natalya, they're flopping her everywhere. Different. This is her new friend. This is her new friend. This is her new group. This is her new. You know what I mean? I met Natalya in 2010. Sweet girl, hella nice. Talked to her about 5 minutes, but I don't give anything about her because it's like she's not being pushed. So why would you put her in that spot? Push her better and then put her in that spot. We would probably care. And like I said, no offense to her. I mean, I'm not trying to say that she's not worth anything, but it's like the way their lack of push for her. Nobody cares. Now, Charlotte, she ends up being eliminated by both Bianca and Ripley. They work against her and they work together as a team. And Belair and Ripley are the final 2, and I am loving it. And then a great transition, great sequence that they were pouring at her. One was against the ropes, some would miss her. Other ones against the ropes, miss her. And then Bianca's able to eliminate Rhea Ripley. And Bianca Belair wins the Women's Royal Rumble for 2021, and she lasted over 56 minutes from the number 3 spot. And so much for one of the guys on commentary saying that the number 3 spot's cursed. I think maybe Bianca finally lifted the curse, and now if you go from number 3, you might have a chance to win. But that was my choice, and I would love to see her and Sasha. I think that would be a great match. Maybe she goes over to NXT and takes on Io. But then again, Io is going to be being challenged by Toni Storm for NXT Takeover. They just announced that on Royal Rumble, so there's that. And so good, so much. I'm so happy for her. Good. She looked happy. She was crying. She was really emotional. She deserved it, and she gets to point at the WrestleMania sign, and she's headed off to Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble to WrestleMania. She's on her way. Okay, Peter Rosenberg, commentary, post Royal Rumble match, and he wins a 24/7 title from R-Truth, and then he's smart enough to run away. So we'll see how long he holds that title. Is R-Truth gonna, you're gonna visit him at his during his podcast? We'll see. Last man standing match for the Universal title match. Let's move on. It's KO versus Roman Reigns. Now Reigns ends up retaining his title by the use of a guillotine and knocking KO out. And he is unable to answer the 10 count. It was a very physical match, a very well done last man standing match. They threw everything at each other, and it's like these two really went at it, and they did not hold back. And I really, really enjoy when these two compete. It's an amazing, they got amazing chemistry, and I don't know if anybody wants to see them go at it again. And I admit that I don't want to because it's gonna get too old. It's gonna get very, very old right away. You don't want that, you know. So let KO go on and have a great feud with somebody. Maybe come around full circle. He'll come back and try to go for the title again. But he's had 3 shots. You know, he had Roman tied. You know, what's that? Handcuffed to a banister, whatever you want to call that, a railing. What do you call that? What is it? A rafter? Whatever it was. It's the thing that holds up thing. It's like a metal thing on the ground, you know. And he was low, so he couldn't get up. And then he was counting the referee. But at 9, he pulls the ref and makes him knock himself out on the camera or something right there. And then he blows KO, and then that's how he was able to get him into the guillotine because, what's the name? Paul Heyman came out and took out, took the the keys and took the handcuffs off, But it was a good match, very, very good. Last man standing match, first one ever for, I believe it's only, I don't know if it's the first one for Royal Rumble, but definitely it was the first time that Roman Reigns has defended in the last man standing match because he defended it in a steel cage, elimination chamber, I don't know if it's elimination chamber, Hell in a Cell, So he's TLC, I believe, yeah. So he's defended in all these type of gimmick matches, and it's the first time he did it for last man standing. Now, let's go to the main event, which is the 30-man Royal Rumble. Edge, one of my all-time favorites, ever since he was in the Brood, somehow I just became, transfixed on him. He had a look on him. He had like a attitude, a personality, and then we became a singles performer. Blew everybody away, blew me away. I was hooked. I'm a big fan of his, and he comes in at number 1, and number 2 is Randy Orton. I'm thinking, is this a way to cheaply have a rivalry again? Renew it. And they didn't even get into the ring yet, and they were beating each other up, and then people were coming in, as they were like, they finally got into the ring, and I noticed that Randy Orton, his facial burns are gone, and I'm thinking, wow, that cream he uses for that thing works wonders. We use some high-powered cortisone cream or something for that, But let's move on to the the people, the entrance. There we had number 3 was Sami Zayn. Number 4 was Mustafa Ali. Number 5 is Jeff Hardy, and number 6 was Dolph Ziggler for the 14th time, and he eliminates Hardy. Number 7 is Nakamura. Number 8, Carlito. Rumors of him coming in for the Legends show and then for other things, and he finally is here. And he looked yoked, he looked stoked, he looked like really, he pumped up. He looks like he's been working out and putting on some muscle and stuff like that. He looked good. Then number 9 was Xavier Woods, and then number 10 was Big E. And then together with his New Day compatriot, they eliminate Sami Zayn. That was good. Number 11 was John Morrison. Now, Ali eliminates Woods, but then he's eliminated by Big E. Number 12, Ricochet. And what was the deal with him failing to qualify? I guarantee you he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. So what's the point of him going through the whole thing of trying to qualify? Number 13 is Elias, and he eliminates Carlito. Number 14, we got an NXT entrant, and that's Damian Priest, and he eliminates Elias. Number 15, the Miz, and along with Morrison, they are eliminated by Priest. They're looking to say they turn around. Here comes Damian Priest, beheading them to both and knocking them over the top rope. Love it. I'm already a big fan of Damian Priest, but I'm like going, thank you. Can't stand those two. Now, number 16 was Matt Riddle. Number 17 was Daniel Bryan, who was my choice. And number 18 was Kane in his 18th appearance. And he gets in there, and the mayor, Jen Jacobs, he eliminates Dolph and Ricochet. Good on him. He took a break from his mayoral obligations and enters the Royal Rumble. Now, But unfortunately, he is eliminated by Priest, Damian Priest, and good. He puts the younger guy over. I like that. Number 19, King Corbin. He eliminates Nakamura. Number 20, Otis is eliminated by Corbin. Corbin doing decent for a while there. Dominic Mysterio in his Royal Rumble debut, and he eliminates Corbin, much like his dad did when his dad eliminated Orton in the 2006 Royal Rumble that catapulted him into the main event of WrestleMania. He did that whole thing where that Hurricane Rana and he goes over the top rope, but then the other guy that he's Hurricane Ronning, whatever you want to say it out for, goes over, did the same thing. But Lashley gets in there and right away he eliminates Dominic and he eliminates Damian Priest. Number 23, the Hurricane, who was eliminated by Lashley and Big E. Trying to do that choke slam on both those guys. You weren't going to do that to them. It was a good stand-up. Christian, he helps eliminate Lashley, and he and Edge share a moment in the ring, give each other a hug. Even Matt Riddle's like, yeah, pointing at him. He's marking now because he was a fan, I'm sure, growing up. But then he gets eliminated by E and C. And I'm thinking, is Christian going to wrestle some more? Maybe we even see him and Edge go after the tag team title sometime down the road. Edge looked great, but Christian looked good. He looked like he's been taking bumps, he's been hitting the ropes, and I'm glad to see him back. And a lot of these returns I had no issues with. It was pretty good. Even Jillian Hall in the women's one, I was like, okay, that's cool. She's back. She's a cringy character, but it worked. You know what I mean? Now, number 25 is AJ Styles, and number 26 is Rey Mysterio. And Omos eliminates Big E, but he did so from the outside of the ring. It's getting really ridiculous and over the top that they allowed him to do that. You know, because I hate when people outside of the ring, they say that it's no disqualification, anything goes, so it can happen, but it's like he's not in the Rumble. That's always the point of it, is that the people in the Rumble are the ones that can eliminate you. He just pulls Big E down, you know, from the outside. Number 27 is Sheamus, and Omos eliminates Rey. Again, that's the first time that someone's going to probably get elimination credit without even being in the match. He already set a new record for a non-participant eliminations. Number 28, Cesaro. 29, Seth Rollins returns from paternity leave, I guess you can call that, after him and his wife, his girlfriend Becky Lynch gave birth to their baby Rue, and he's back and looking to dominate. Number 30, Braun Strowman, and he eliminates Cesaro and Sheamus and Styles. And with Styles, he does it on the opposite side where Omos was, so Omos wouldn't be able to catch him, and Omos can do nothing. He can't run. He's not that fast, not that quick. So, and that was clever. Now Edge, it says right at this point, it's been in at 52 minutes, and Rollins eliminates Bryan. It was my choice. Actually, a little sentimental favorite at the most. I should have picked Edge because Edge is my favorite. I don't know why I didn't pick him, but I was dead set on Bryan before Edge announced. So, and then Rollins eliminates, like I said, Bryan, and he was in it for 29 minutes, which is good. And Rollins eliminates Riddle. Rollins, Edge, Christian, and Strowman are the final four, and Rollins forms an alliance with Strowman against Edge and Christian. It doesn't last. Rollins eliminates Strowman, and Christian and Edge eliminates Rollins. Now, over 58 minutes he lasted, but he needs to eliminate Orton, who RKO'd Edge. You know, he gets in there, and I'm thinking, no, Orton, and then he turns around, and then he turns around into an RKO as Rollins slips in. I mean, not Rollins, but Orton slips in like a snake that he is. You know, he was out with the knee, supposed knee injury. I don't know if he faked it or not. He probably did. But then he takes that RKO, and then Edge is able to reverse a attempted toss out, and then he tosses out Orton. And Orton, there's an expression on his face like he couldn't believe it. Like he had to look at his face like, you know. And Edge wins. 58 minutes in the Royal Rumble, number 1. I believe it's been some time since we've had a number one entrant win the Royal Rumble. And with Edge, this is a testament to his cardio, his determination, and his conditioning. And every time he would get hit with something, I would always cringe because I'm thinking he just came back from surgery. Is he gonna get knocked out again? We'll find out. Hopefully he's okay, and he'll be able to address the crowd and well, the lack thereof, of the TV crowd and the Thunderdome, and hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's going to be good, ready to go. I know I made a prediction on one of my videos past year that I said that would be him and Randy Orton, but it looks like it's going to be him, and maybe it's going to be him and Drew McIntyre. That would be a good match, But it depends on who he picks. We'll see. So congrats to Edge. Like I said, he's one of my favorites of all time, and he deserved this. Talked about it a little bit when he came back. He made that announcement on Raw and said that this is the one thing that he needs to do because he didn't lose his championship 11 years ago. He had to relinquish the title. He successfully defended it against I know he was in the match with Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania, and then he had to he had to relinquish the title. I'm trying to remember if he won it or he defended it, but he was a champion at the end of the night, and then eventually he had to relinquish the title and retire. But I'm glad that he won. I'm glad that he is Mr. Royal Rumble, and I'm glad that Bianca Belair, my favorite, one of my favorites, but she definitely is a favorite of mine, won the women's, and she deserved it. Everybody deserved it. Both her and Edge, and then the matches that transpired, I'm glad with the outcomes as well, especially with the WWE Championship. Thank you, Goldberg, for putting Drew over. That's what you need to do, brother. You don't come in and expect to win the championship. You got to start putting people over, and you did. You didn't do it with KO. You didn't do it with Bray Wyatt, but you did it with Drew, and that's awesome. I think that's the testament to Mr. McMahon and his faith in Drew McIntyre. But I gotta tell you, I don't know. Maybe we're going to find out in the upcoming news that maybe McMahon was expecting. He wanted Goldberg to, maybe he made a last minute decision. But good. And now Drew McIntyre is going to be heading to WrestleMania, unless they're gonna. What's the next pay-per-view? Is the next pay-per-view Elimination Chamber, or is it? What is it? I know it's not Fastlane. I don't think they have it Fastlane. I think it's Elimination Chamber. So is he going to defend his title? Is he going to, retain the title? Who knows? But depends on what's going on and what their next storylines are going to be and what their plans are going to be. But anyway, that's my recap and thoughts of Royal Rumble. Ran a little long, 30 some odd minutes. It might be shorter than that after I edit it and stuff like that, But anyway, that's my video. And for those of you who stopped by and checked out my video for the Royal Rumble recap and thoughts, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.